Hey guys, it's Austin here. So this week is week 3, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about what communities can do to stay resilient in the effects or the causes of tectonic plates. So when kind of thinking about this, I kind of broke it down into 5 different sections. The first section is when it comes to any natural disaster is kind of recognizing the area you live in and what disasters you are prone to. This is important because when living in an area that's affected by natural disasters, every area is different. So specifically for tectonic plates, these typically happen to um, have effects on fault lines, coastal areas, and any areas that build up pressure due to these fault lines. Um, Specifically, Oklahoma is one of those with the fault lines. We also are prone to earthquakes in different areas, also because of the disposal of wastewater from drilling for oil. And so then number 2 that I wrote down is there a specific season? For tectonic plates, there's not specifically a certain season. It kind of all has to do or depend on what the fault lines are doing at that time, which kind of varies in randoms, which makes it so difficult to predict these earthquakes and when they're going to happen. The third thing is during the disaster. What do we do during the disaster? Specifically during an earthquake, the biggest thing to do is to get to the lowest point of sea level or the earth that you can. So if you're in the top floor of a house, get to the bottom floor. That doesn't mean go into the basement, because in the basement the whole building can come down crashing on top of you. The second thing to do is to cover your head and to cover your neck. Unfortunately, during an earthquake, there's really not a whole lot of precautions you can do. You just want to stay safe and make sure that nothing is falling on top of you or can come down that way. The fourth thing I have is relief aid after the earthquake. Um, After the earthquake, the biggest thing to do as a resilient community is to make sure that all your people are okay. There's several different charity organizations, government organizations that are nonprofit or that go out of their way to make sure that the community is safe by giving shelter, food, power sources, volunteering your time to clean up the mess and the rubbish after the earthquake has happened. And then the fifth thing I have is really one of the most important things, I think, is building to prevent the next one from happening. And maybe not necessarily when it comes to earthquakes can we prevent these from happening again, but what can we do as a community, or what can we do as a resilient community to make sure that if another one happens, it doesn't do the damage that it did the last time? Specifically for earthquakes is, what is causing these earthquakes? Why are these new areas popping up, the epicenters? And what can these new cities, such as Cushing, who just got hit recently last week, what can they do to make their buildings maybe more stronger, or can they educate their people more to know that, hey guys, we are a epicenter for earthquakes. We need to take precautions. We need to be prepared. We need to have our building standards updated. We need to have re-inspections, etc. What can we do as a community to build the next one? So these are just kind of the 5 points that I hit on and touched or thought about when preparing for what can make a community resilient when preparing for an earthquake. Thanks.